Say it with me now. 3, 2, 1. Mortal Kombat! Hello everyone, this is Gene from NYC again. I'm back with another video. So, as always, first of all, thank you for viewing my videos, for coming to the channel. I'm always grateful, whether this is your first time viewing a video or your 100th time. I'm always glad to have you or to have you back. If you like the content, please subscribe. Please leave a like. If you have any, thoughts, leave them in the comments. So today I wanted to discuss something I'd actually seen 2 days ago, which is the Sindel Reveal from Ed Boon's Twitter. Ed Boon put out a tweet saying the 7 deadly Sindels. Ha ha ha. Nice wordplay there, Ed. Nice wordplay there. Anyway, so he revealed what many people, myself included, been known for about 2 months, which is that Sindel is DLC. Right? She's probably going to be in the combo pack too, I'm thinking, because the first combo pack has Shang, and it has Nightwolf, and it has Ash from Evil Dead, and it has Spawn. So she'll probably be part of the second combo pack, I'm thinking. I don't think she's part of the first one, but she's part of the second one, I believe, which is fine. So I just wanted to just go over my thoughts over her new look, right, and her new design, and what I think of it. So, just briefly, for those who don't know, Sindel's had an entirely different. She's had her character revamped for this game. I did a video on the change to her personality. If you want to check the videos, you can check that out. But instead of her classic rendition, where she's a loving queen and mother to Kitana, and Khan takes over and it drives her to grief and she commits suicide or self-sacrifice. I guess it depends on which storyline you're playing. Instead of that, right, and the being resurrected on Earth and then brainwashed to love Khan, which has been consistent across 20-some years and 2 versions of the character across 2 timelines and 2, I guess you say universes, right? Excuse me. She's now been rebooted for Mk11 to be this sort of, evil, lusty queen archetype who always loved Khan, or at least always lusted for power, and who willingly betrayed her husband, her child, and her realm for power. This change in personality has not exactly gone over well, but again, I did a video on that already. This is more of my thoughts and feelings and critique on her costume than it is on her character. Though I have to say, I'm not happy with the character changes. To me, that's just way too divergent for the character, especially since in MK9 and 10, it was still established. It still followed the general premise that she dies, then she's resurrected and brainwashed. They've taken the brainwash, from what I can tell, right? They've apparently taken the brainwashing out, and now she's been, an evil queen all along. So why they've decided after all this time to suddenly take one of their most popular characters and an integral figure to the Adenian saga and make her a villainess, or at least a villainess from the start now, I don't know. But NetherRealm's made a bunch of decisions with this game that nobody quite understands. So anyway, this is about her look. So she has this new look, it's purple and everything, but I was looking at it, and I heard about this on Monday evening. I wasn't able to make a video then because it was too late and I was way too tired. But I was looking at it for the past 2 days, and I was like, there's something missing. Because while I don't think it's a bad design in and of itself, it doesn't say Sindel to me. it doesn't look like Sindel. It doesn't look like something she would wear. This, for her, this fairly heavily armored look. It has her colors, but it doesn't have her style, if that makes any sense. So then I started looking at older depictions of her, right? I looked at images of her from Mk3, I looked at images of her from Mk9 and from 10, and it was looking back that I realized what's missing. What's missing to me, from a visual perspective looking at this costume, is the goth and scream queen elements that make up a Sindel look. Right? It's not just the fact that she wears purple. Right? Rain wears purple, but no one's gonna mistake him for Sindel. Right? There is in every depiction I've seen of her, right? There have been visual elements of goth and of scream queen. Right? She takes a lot of her visual inspiration from Elvira. That's pretty obvious looking at her makeup, especially in 3. Looking at her makeup, looking at her hair, although the hair is colored differently, but you look at it, you can obviously tell, right, that she's meant to look like she literally just walked out of a B-list horror film, right? She's always had that look about her. Mk3, Mk9, Mk10. There's always been the goth element. And there's always been the scream queen element. I think the goth element was best represented in Mk3, and the best representation I think actually of her Elvira inspiration is actually probably in Mk9 actually, right? Mk9 gets razzed and it gets criticized for having these hyper feminine and hypersexual female designs, which okay, fair enough. Yeah, they did go crazy in Mk9. I'll admit that. I'm not bothered by it, but I'll admit that. But I actually think in the case of Sindel, it actually helped because, again, it brought it back to her visual inspiration, which is Elvira. And Elvira's known for wearing very sexy clothing. And again, she's known as being a scream queen and a horror icon. And again, Sindel gets a lot of her visual inspiration from her. So looking at this new version, I was like, that's what's missing. Those two elements are iconic for a Sindel look, and they're not present here. There's no makeup, which, to be fair, there was no makeup in Mk9 or 10, but I think there should have been. I think that if you're going to go with a goth look, you need the eyeliner and you need lipstick and everything, but that's just me. But it's still, if you look at the overall costume, right, just the costume itself, the colors, especially Sindel's hair, apparently from this picture, and again, it's hard to tell because of the shadow, but from the Ed Boon picture, right, Sindel doesn't seem to have her hair, her iconic hair colors, right? In every other game, right, it's been that her hair is white, with the exception of a streak of black, right? Which always, from a visual standpoint, stood out about her. Now, apparently, her hair is just maybe salt and pepper. It's really hard to tell, but it looks like a uniform color, and again, that's not Sindel, right? Changing Sindel's hair color is like taking the scar from Sub-Zero's face. It doesn't work visually. It's too iconic an element for her visual design to take it from her, just like the scar on Sub-Zero's face is too iconic an element to take from him. It's what makes Sub-Zero Sub-Zero. And for a visual perspective, what makes Sindel, right, or at least part of what makes her and makes her recognizable is the hair. So I gotta put an X, right? I've gotta call it as I see it, and it's a strike against the design that, again, the hair is not in the proper place. And again, there's no real goth or scream queen elements to this look. It's very armored, though I do give it credit for actually giving her there's been this debate, for those who may not know, there's been this debate about, how immodest or indecent should the designs for the women go, and it delves into respectability politics and all this other stuff. And I will say this much: I like the fact that the design does include a cleavage window, right? It may not be realistic, nothing in Mortal Kombat is, but I think the cleavage window works because A, she's always had a cleavage window of sorts, she's always shown off her chest, and B, it fits thematically even with this new change, right? She's supposed to be this lusty, cougar, evil queen, femme fatale type character. So again, her showing some skin up top, does help visually reinforce that change in character. So I actually do like that element of the costume, but it's probably the only element of the costume that I like. And I know some people are going to say, well, her skin is gray, isn't that goth? No, it's just proof that she's a revenant. Look at Princess Kitana, her daughter. Right, her skin is gray too. Any character in the game that has a revenant, for example, another example, Lu and Kung Lao, they have revenant versions, they have revenant skins, and the skin color is the same. It's that dull gray. So that's not proof of being goth, it's proof of being a revenant. Something I thought that they would do, which apparently they haven't done from what I can tell, but something I thought they would do is that they would actually make Sindel more Asian looking, since they race flipped Kitana, and according to the storyline, Sindel is Kitana's biological mother. So I was thinking that they would finally, make them look alike, because they've never looked alike in the series. They've never looked like their mother and daughter and related to each other. So one would think if they're going to go through all these changes and all these reboots, that they would finally address that. So I was expecting, honestly, kind of a Asian look to her face and everything. And maybe there is. I mean, it's hard to see with the shadow, but from what I can tell, yeah, she doesn't look like an Asian woman. She doesn't look like she's related to Kitana at all. So I'm surprised that they haven't addressed that. But who knows? Maybe there'll be an alternate skin that addresses it. I don't know. What I would say is that I think this costume, the armored look, I think it's, as a design, I think it's good. I just don't think it fits Sindel. Right? One of the things it's lacking, actually, from my perspective, minus the boob window, is actually femininity. Again, Sindel is one of those characters who's actually very feminine, right? A lot of her moves even play on, sort of feminine stereotypes, like her sonic scream, right? The banshee scream, right? The shrieking woman, right? Again, that comes from horror. The scream queen, right? Or the hair whip throw, and I think it's also used as a fatality that she does, right? That's also a very feminine thing, to use your hair, right, as a whip. Whip my hair, as Willow Smith would say. So I think for a good Sindel design, you need three elements. You need Scream Queen, you need goth, and you need feminine. With a hint of sexual. Right? You can tone it up or you can tone it down, but it's definitely got to be a little bit of sexiness there. Right? Because again, one of her visual inspirations is Elvira. Elvira's a Scream Queen. She's very feminine, right? And very sexy. And guess what elements are absolutely missing from this costume? Ding, ding, ding. Those three. So again, I think it's a good looking costume as a look, as a design, but I can't really say that it's Sindel. I actually think it would look good as an alternate costume for Cetrion, right? Who's a pretty feminine character herself, being a nature goddess, but she does have this alt costume where her skin is gray and the outfit's red. And I was looking at that, I was like, okay, I could actually see the progression from like green to red to this purplish armor look. I think it would actually look better on her than on Sindel. So that's my final verdict. I can't say that I like it. Again, I think it's a good attempt. It's not a terrible costume. It's just not Sindel. If you're going to bring back Sindel, let her be Sindel in spirit, in personality, and in appearance. This does not look like our beloved Edenian queen. I want the Edenian queen. I want the Scream queen, right? I want the brainwashed, brainwashed queen who then becomes a benevolent force when she gets out of the brainwashing, right? That's the Sindel I know, right? Call me old, call me stuck in the 90s, fair and fair. But that's what I want. And I think that's what many fans want, more than those who maybe don't want that. But hey, what do I know? I'm just somebody who's played the game for 20 years and played every major title in the original series. But anyway, that's it. That's the video. Those are my thoughts. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And one more thing. If you have any story suggestions, you have any requests, let me know in the comments, or you can send me an email. I have an email in the About Me section, so you can send it there, or you can just leave your request or your suggestion in the comments. Please know that if you make a request, I reserve the right to ultimately choose what content I cover, so I make no guarantees that I'll honor the request, right? But I have done videos on request. Several of my Captain Marvel reviews have been a request that I've honored. The 1 hour plus Cena Grace video that I did, that was a request that I honored. So again, if you have any suggestions or requests, let me know in the comments. I'll take a look and I'll decide whether or not to honor it. Or you can send me an email. Again, either mode of communication is fine. So have a good evening, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.